Hello everybody, it's Reaver the Legend here. We're going to make, I kind of got into it on another video, this is part of the Dota Fundamentals series, and we're going to be talking about wards in this game, and warding in general. Because I feel like when you play carry or when you play support, you don't necessarily understand what the other person needs in their wards. So I'm going to talk about people who play supports are generally ones playing wards, and they don't necessarily put all the best wards that they need. I'm talking like, even when I play games at like 4 to 5k or whatever, you encounter that pretty damn frequently, where someone just puts up a completely useless ward. So I'm going to try and show you different ward positions. Let's see. Item. Let's do this. Item. Let's give ourselves a whole bunch of wards. 20 should be enough. I'm too lazy to know all the Dota cheats, so we're doing this, and we're going to level 5. Alright, so let's talk about fucking warding. Let's talk about our warding in the first 10 minutes. It's going to be pretty obvious. When you give your offlaner a ward, this is a ward that he's placing, you'll see a ward something like here, right? And the purpose of this vision is to allow your offlaner to position so that, like, let's say if he sees that gank coming, he could run into the tree lines, try and annoy the supports, hide in the tree lines, and just soak more XP while being a right pain in the ass. Which is his right as a support. I don't have a fucking courier. Alright, so that's a really obvious defensive ward. But let's talk about, like, what this safe laner needs, right? And where your ward should be to do this, right? Because I've seen, like, when I'm safe laning here, and I'll see my support just come and drop that ward. Like what the fuck does that ward do? Let's look at it, right? Can I zoom out here? No, I can't zoom out here. So what this ward tells you is basically the same defensive information. As a safe laner, in the first 10 minutes, you do not need to know who's over here. Right? If the mid's missing, hopefully your mid calls it, or it should be kind of obvious or something, or maybe your supports will be pulling over here, or there'll be some sort of thing to give it away over here. But having this fucking ward here doesn't tell you really much. Like, what a safe laner really needs is a ward here, right? So this would be ideal. And what this does is it tells you, one, the offlaner is positioning in the lane. You can even move that up a bit. So when like, let's say it's nighttime and my vision's restricted and the safe laner's sitting like their offlaner's sitting like right here. And like, I know where he is when I'm right here. So like, let's say if you're someone who has the ability to harass, maybe you're able to get some extra pot shots on him, or maybe throw a nuke or coordinate a gank because he's in a position that he doesn't necessarily know you are. So if I have this ward up right here, sorry, let's do like right there, it's not going to tell you when the offlaner is right here, so it's almost useless. Like most safe laners, if the enemy is able to get to like right here, you're dead anyway. Like it doesn't really matter too much. So what this ward tells you is like, why do I have infinite wards? The fuck? Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Anyway, so what this word tells you is when people TP in. So a big way your safe laner is going to die, their support hits a key level, and they TP someone in. What this word sees is even when, let's say even if they come in with like an invis rune or something, you can see the TP coming in. So this word needs to see a TP coming in, and then support movements up here, or support movements through the river. And it can catch all that. You can even put it like right here. As you'll see, that gives you more river vision. If you move it this way, it gives you less river vision. It doesn't change too much. In a real-world scenario, you probably want it somewhere here, because you want it to be able to see as far up the lane as possible and as much as the tower as possible. So by having it here, by having it here, you can see almost the entire TP area that someone can come in. Unless they TP like right here, then you'll have trouble seeing that. After you kill like their tower or something, this is also another really good defensive ward, because you'll be able to catch people TPing into the shrine to go for a gank. So it'll be very common that they'll TP here and then try and move through the woods. So that'll give your carry information. So once this ward stops being useful, this one's just as good. Because once again, it gives them that river vision. Or sorry, once laning phase is over, this ward's actually better, is what I should say. Because that ward gives you the river gank information, it gives you shrine TP information, it gives you this tower information. Even if that tower is still, if that tower is down, it's still good. If that tower is up, it's also good, because it gives you that TPN information. There's a small area where I think they can TP like right here, where they might be out of vision, but they have to walk through the vision to show in the lane, right? So that ward's very, very good from probably 8 minutes on. I think this one's more useful during the laning phase, and this one's more useful after the laning phase breaks down. The reason for that is during the laning phase, like I said, you're going to have the offlaner trying to soak experience, try and bother you or whatever, and this word's going to tell you about his positioning in a wave, right? Well, this word wouldn't tell you about that positioning, but this word also catches more ganks. So that's the benefit to that. So that's something to really consider, because like the amount of times I've had a support come in, drop this ward is like too damn many. It's people who just, they think like just because they're a support and they put down a ward, they did their job. But when you're putting down shitty words, like what the fuck was the point, you know? Like, let's go show the other safe lane word, or let's show some mid words first. Not a mid player, so I can't really speak to necessarily what a mid wants, but if I'm Radiant, I probably want a word like here, because their supports should generally be rotating from this area, so this one will catch their movements. They won't be caught by smoke ganks, obviously, but it'll catch other random movements of maybe like an Earth Shaker or someone like camping you, things like that. This one also serves a similar purpose, and then you can kind of just reverse those for the same reason, right? Like if you're Dire, you can put the ward here or whatever, and then you'll hopefully catch the ganks coming from this direction. You can put it there. That'll catch movements on like both sides of the river, so that can be a pretty good one. Yeah, this one's completely fucking useless. This is just a rune ward, so you can see a rune spawn. It's not going to catch any rotations. If you're Radiant, this isn't going to catch any rotations. If you're Dire, it's probably not going to catch rotations. That would be totally useless. I don't think I see that ward too much. I don't even know if that's something people usually put down. This would be like a mid-game ward where you want to catch someone at Ancients. It could be okay for that purpose. Like, this ward definitely has like a time and place to be there, but it's not during laning phase, where your mid just needs to see information. Your wards are going to be in these areas, pretty much, to like catch rotations on your mid and provide your mid some uphill vision so that he can get more last hits. It's pretty important. I don't want to talk too much about mid lane, because like I said, I'm a really shitty mid laner. This is a great defensive ward. This one's probably even better. Because like people will smoke like here to try and come through your jungle. You can even put it up here, because like if they're going to smoke come through your jungle, it's probably going to happen up here. Maybe it'll happen right here, but they expect a ward generally in this area. So that can be a pretty good defensive ward. That'll catch your early game rotations too. And we'll talk about the Dire over here. Once again, it's the same mentality as the other lane. You want to catch the TPs in, and you want to see lane positioning of the enemy offlaner. It's very, very simple. Once you see their positioning, you can set up kills and do whatever on them. The other wards I've seen here is like this one, which provides you, once again, you can't see where the offlaner is hiding over here, so you miss that information. You can't see TPs in, so you miss that information. All you see is if, like, for some reason, if their team walks up through this area, right, then you'll catch these movements. But like, what does that really do? Like, if they're already here, like, it doesn't change too much. You know, like maybe you'll dodge a gank if they come this way and they stand there for a bit right under your ward vision, but it's useless. Like, the ganks that are going to get you are the ones that are coming from here, like a quick TP in, and then they just run at you at nighttime, or they're smoked or whatever, or like yeah. So let's see if we got the. Let's go look up the kill wards cheat. Kill wards. Oh man. There we go. Alright, so let's look at some aggressive words and we'll talk about the different ones you can put down. I'll show you some of my favorites and some of the standard ones. Alright, so let's say you're Radiant and you want to put some aggressive words and catch some Dire scum, okay? So you have this one, which is pretty okay. This will catch people who are at this hard camp, and it'll catch them at this camp. If it's like probably the first 15 minutes, and I'm going for like these towers still, and this if this tower is still up, and there's still someone farming in this general area, this ward can be good because you'll catch them when they're at this camp and this camp, and you'll be able to predict their movements and get those kills that we talked about in the implied vision video, right? Because if I see them push this, I know they're going to that, and this ward will let me know which camp they're exactly at and how I can execute that gank. So the next one, this is a pretty good one. This one's going to give you vision of someone at this camp. Let's see, I'm pretty sure it gives you that vision too. Yeah. So it's going to give you vision of both of these camps. That's very useful because when someone's farming these camps, it usually means they're coming from this direction, which tells you when they're walking that way. It's a very good ward to set up your ganks, and when you're doing your initial smoke through their woods, it's a very good ward to have up. That's a great one. This is pretty good too. This gives you vision of here. It gives you vision of their shrine. I'm pretty sure it gives you vision of their ancients. Yep. It gives you vision of their ancients. Once again, the goal of each one of these wards is to give you vision of 2 camps that can set up kills, right? And gives you that information on where people are. Like I could put this one, and what this will catch is people moving through here, but it won't tell me when their carry's farming here, because a carry could farm from this direction, it can come from this direction to farm, but like having this ward will let me know when people are here. Like maybe at the shrine, I think you'll get some vision over the ancients. Yeah, not a huge amount of vision, but you'll get a little bit of vision over the ancients, and like you'll catch people in between towers. But like ultimately, this ward, what's that gonna do? Like it doesn't give you as much implied vision as these, because like if I see no one farming these camps, or I see no one farming these camps, then I know they must be in this area somewhere, right? So in terms of like what it gives you as your carry and as a support, it opens up that information so you know the camps they're farming. Well, this one just kind of tells you if they walk past that area. Like, no one's going to be standing in this area for a prolonged period of time unless they're farming ancients. So it's only giving you that one camp, and then a little bit if someone's standing behind the tier 1 tower. But ultimately, the vision's just not too useful. Let's see. What's another less useful word? Okay, let's talk about, like, pushing wards. So let's say you're setting up to push this, right? A really great ward is right here. So you have your support, you sneak back, you drop the ward right here. That's going to tell you when their team's setting up to come here and finish you off, right? Or they're trying to contest the tower. So if you're worried that they're a team that can contest the tower, you drop this ward, and that'll tell you when the enemy... You pretty much just put this ward down when you're planning on pushing this tower. Because you'll be able to see the backline TPs, you can see who's coming in. And they might TP some people here, but I assure you some people are going to come from back here. And there's also going to be people walking up, because they don't want to have, like, the increasing TP spawns, right? Because it goes from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 seconds per TP in. So you don't really want that. So you know there's going to be people walking up. So to give you that information on who's walking up to try and join to defend this tower. So, like, let's say if you have, like, an offlane clockwork or something, and you get this ward up, maybe you know their carries here, and you see their offlane TPing in, and then you see their, like, support lion. What is that noise? That's not a Discord noise. I'm muted in Discord. Oh, I'm not muted in Discord. I don't know what the fuck that noise I keep hearing is. I was yelling at someone in Discord about a noise that I don't know what the fuck it is. Boom. Anyway, back to vision. Yeah, so like let's say like their offlaner's TPing in, their carry's already here, and you have the like support lion walking up. All of a sudden you have a clockwork, he just hook shots, takes out that lion, and now you're up the lion kill. Right? And that lion would be a huge part of their lockdown and their overall team fight early on. Let's say their safe laner's a Jug. That lion stuns, and then he spins, and the Jug's almost assuredly going to get that kill. But now you've taken out that element. So this is a very, very good ward for that. Alternatively, here's another really, really great ward. This one's sneaky as fuck, too. So everyone always puts up this ward when they're pushing this shit. If you can get back there, this ward's 50 times better. One, this ward never gets fucking dewarded. Unless they have a gem, this ward ain't fucking going anywhere. This ward gives you the full vision of the back line behind this tower. This is also an amazing ultra late game ward, because you want to catch people when they're pushing out in ultra late games. So let's say their carry's playing like really safe. By having this ward here, the carry might push out to here, and like you'll have the perfect information of exactly when they're doing that. Like you'll be able to see them walking up and execute that gank. Well, this one can kind of see it. This ward's going to fall short. Fuck, come on. Does it fall short? It's kind of... Can't really tell. I think it should fall short of, like, the top of this, but I guess I'm wrong about that. Whatever. It's still very good because it gives you all that vision, plus it's in a spot that very rarely gets dewarded. In the late game, like, anytime past, like, 20 minutes or whatever, this is one of my go-to ward spots because it's what's going to get you a pick-off on a carry when they're pushing out, particularly when you have map control. Well, actually, that's mainly when you have map control and you're trying to, like, win a game. This wouldn't be very good if the enemy has complete control over your, over the map and is always on your side. Would not be very useful. Yeah, so those are really good. The same goes for here. This has the same rationale when you're pushing the other mid, the other safe lane. And, like, anyone that bisects, like, the two, any word that bisects two towers serves that same purpose of being able to see the reinforcements and get a favorable initiation due to that vision advantage. So let's look at some of these. You have that ward. It's pretty much right on the rune. You'll see people going for the rune. You get those two camps. You get some low ground vision too. Actually, it gets vision over the fucking ancients too. So yeah, it's pretty good. Once again, this... Where the fuck is it? It's right here. That gives you the similar vision that this one gives you when you're playing from here. This is a ward you'd never put up when you're on the Dire. You only put those up when you're on the opposite team to give you that Shrine info, the T1 info, and the general movement info. So those are things you really want to consider for that. Okay, let's look at some Radiant ones. Once again, the whole bisect the tower thing. It's really annoying though. Gone. For here, this is a pretty sneaky thing you can do here. This gives you a lot of information, this one. And what's good about this is it has a kind of a clear route all the way up. So like this is a commonly kind of dewarded area, but if they deward you here once, just keep moving the wards south or like more north. So I put this ward down a lot because while it doesn't look at camps, you get a lot of movement towards that. There's a lot of people who are going to TP here and then walk that way. So you get a lot of information about their movements from having that ward that you wouldn't really get from having a ward like that. So let's talk about this one. You can get a ward like this. That's going to give you some Ancient Vision, some Shrine Vision, and Vision over this camp. Another really good one is like right here. This gives you vision over those two camps. This one's pretty good too because it's going to give you vision over all three camps, but once again, it's a very highly dewarded spot. So if you get dewarded there, you want to switch to like these. This is another really good one. This one gives you vision over this camp, and it gives you vision over everything behind this tower. If you're pushing this tower, this is my advised ward, because, once again, let's say if you have that Clockwork or someone here, let's just say you have fucking Drow or whatever. Yeah, we can even go with the Jug example. So you have your Jug or whatever pushing here, you have your Clockwork positioned here. This ward catches a Lion trying to position for his carry TPing in or whatever the fuck. And then boom, that Clock's able to go here, just kill that Lion instantly. Or if there's like a group of people, you can start that fight, the Clock will have that vision to like perfectly bisect their team with some good cogs and an ult or whatever. So yeah, like that's a really good one. Let's see. This ward's okay. You usually get that if you came through here. That's another one of those bisecting wards. You got this obvious ward that you can do. Did I fuck that up? Huh. I thought that gave Ancient Vision. Did I screw up? Yeah, I guess I'm just an idiot. Oh. I guess when you move it to the left, it gives you Ancient Vision. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, so, okay, you move that one to the left, it gives you some Ancient Vision. It's weird. I'm a crazy person. Yeah, so you... Oh, whoop. That was a... No, I didn't hit it in the camp. Yeah, so you can do this one, too, which will give you camp vision. I think when you have it up there, it doesn't give you any camp vision, so this one will give you the camp vision and the shrine vision, but doesn't give you the same protection to see movements from this tower or that. This is another more late-game ward. It'll give you those courier pick-offs. It'll catch you... It'll let you catch people farming these camps when they probably shouldn't be. This is a good one, too. Oops. So you'll see that one gives you the behind the vision tower. It gives you some of the back vision over here. That can be pretty useful. And oh, this is the other sneaky equivalent of this ward we had up here. So once again, this is gonna, when those carries are like pushing up, they're usually not gonna go much further past this line if they think you're in the area. This will give you that vision pretty much almost back to their tower and let you get those nice pickoffs. While also giving you that behind the tier 2 advantage as well. So even if you're pushing this tower, this ward's really great. Once again, it's a ward that rarely gets dewarded. If you can't really get back there and you're a support, that's also good too. It gives you pretty much the same vision. Yeah, that one gives you pretty much the same vision without you having to go fucking 8 mile deep. It's ridiculous. Let's see, is there any other ward I'm forgetting? Your Nature's Prophet, you get this ward so you can snipe couriers. Just kidding, that was a joke. That was a joke. I mean, it's technically true, but what the fuck? Why does that have the PA blink animation? That's a PA blink Arcana animation. Stupid compendium. Oh yeah. So yeah, this is the same ward. And then that's the same ward too. Well, this one gets dewarded. This one usually not as much. This one gets dewarded because people will plop a sentry here looking for that ward and that ward. But that one rarely gets caught. So like all of those are like, these are some like the best late game wards you can have. Like right up the hill just sitting there. Those are like game-winning wards that you can get down. And then obviously you have, I guess I'll go over these for those who are unaware. You can go from low to high ground here. So if you guys are pushing, you sneak over here. Those wards are pretty much a free D ward though, if the enemy team is paying attention, because it's usually fucking, like, there's so many structures here when you're putting that down, it's almost impossible they don't see it unless they're really bad or not paying attention. But like these wards almost always get caught. Got another one there. But like these wards also, like, it's like a catch-22. Like, you don't really, I shouldn't say catch-22, I don't think that really applies here, but it's like these wards you don't necessarily expect for like longevity. If it takes them like 30 seconds to get the D ward, that 30 seconds could be enough for you to get initiation. Hypothetically, if you have a pudge too, huzzah, boom. Like if you have a pudge, this ward will give you, when they go to de-ward it, you might be able to hit the hook there. So there are ways to kind of get back from it, because like when they go for that D ward, they're standing still for like that 1 second, or like that ward will kind of telegraph when they're actually going for that last hit. Why am I fucking, this one's behind a damn tree, there we go. Not that ward. That ward's terrible. These two. Just kind of guessed at its location without really thinking. But yeah, like those wards are pretty much just meant... Oh, got another one in here too. I forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, we all have the ward vision and the tower indicators. You can figure all these out yourself. But I kind of just wanted to go down, like, discussing what, like, each different ward position gets you and how they each have, like, trade-offs to what they do. So in general, just to give you the cliff notes for those new to supporting or wanting some, I guess, quicker tips. When you're safe laning, you put this ward here. This ward protects your safe laner way more than any of these shitty wards. These are fucking dog shit to put down for your safe laner. You might as well just, like, it's a completely wasted ward. Like, I've had arguments with the support because I'm like, why'd you even put down the ward? He's like, well, you were asking for ward. I'm like, yeah, well, I wasn't asking for a useless ward. Like, I'd rather you put that ward somewhere else useful that's not in my safe lane than put it in my safe lane when it does nothing, you know? Because this thing just barely does anything. Like, it's so inefficient. So yeah, if you're safe lane support, you can put that. If you're putting it and you're worried that the enemy's going to D-ward, here's the other thing you can do for the first wave. You want this definitely as your second ward if it's a defensive hero, like an anti-mage or something where he needs like the better protection. If you don't want them to see you place that ward like pre-0 minute mark or whatever, you just kind of sneak up right here and you plop that one down right in front of the tree. They won't be able to see you because you're behind the tree, and you'll be able to get that ward down. And that one usually doesn't get de-warded. Though if you walk up right in front of a tower and you place this down, and their support or their offlane or whoever the fuck's paying attention, that's going to get sentryed and killed if they give a shit. But most people will know when you put that down if they're decent and they're paying attention. The same goes for this one. Yeah, so the same goes for this, where if you don't feel like you can get it off, you already saw them having a sentry, you just plop this down like right here, and that gives you almost all the same vision. It just doesn't go quite as far towards the tower, but it gives them enough information because it'll catch those forward TPs. But eventually you want your second ward, like the 6 or 8 minute one, you want it here or up here. Both of those are pretty good. This one's probably a little better, particularly if they push the tower very quickly, because once the tower goes down, once this tower goes down, this ward's pretty useless, but this ward's still very valuable because it catches a lot of movement still. So if you take nothing else from that video, I would say this safe lane warding is very important, and then this, like knowing those jungle wards and what they do is very important. I'm not going to go over that because there's a lot of different positions and a lot of nuance to why you put each one down. The Radiant jungle is definitely harder to ward because, like, I think it's like the only ward along with this one that catches like two camps. But this is, like, honestly, I find this ward to be like one of the most useful. Like, generally my go-to spot is like a ward here. Probably is you don't want it totally far up. You want to be able to catch the lane, and you want to be able to catch someone going to the camp, and you want to be able to catch this. So it's probably like here is where you want it, ideally. But the good part about this ward, like I said, is you can keep moving it south, and you still get most of the information that it gives you, while taking away like a lot of the de-warding from it. Because you put it in one spot, they're going to expect it in that same spot, and when you move it much to the south, they're probably going to miss that de-ward. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and end this one right here. The rewards, I think we discussed pretty much everything important. I didn't talk about Roche wards, but it's pretty fucking obvious. I guess this ward's also okay because it catches those two camps, and also it really doesn't give you too much vision over Roshan. Really, Roshan wards are just like Just like here, pretty much. That's it. And that word, I guess. And then eyes in the forest, obviously. It's brilliant. I think there's another word spot right here, isn't there? Nope. Oh, maybe right there. I thought I just saw the logo. Come on now. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Huh. I never really looked at that one before. I know I've seen people place. Is that in the river, actually? I don't know why I'm trying to, like, rotate like this game does that. Oh. Yeah, that's fucked up. No, that's in the river. That's not great. I thought it was on the high ground because of how that vision looked, but it's showing me that it views the Roche Pit, but it can't possibly view the Roche Pit. I guess it thinks the Roche Pit's flat terrain, but it's not. That's interesting. It doesn't view these as cliffs when you're putting the word down. So it like thinks I have vision, but in actuality you won't be able to see inside the Roche Pit with that. That's pretty interesting. Wait. No, I'm definitely not wrong about that. Why do I have vision in Roshan? Words. My mind's being blown right now. Alright, we're ending this one.